Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are gonna be crafting my May TBR. These are all the books that I'm hoping to get to in May. Normally, I use a TBR jar full of prompts, but we've changed the game a little bit. I don't know if y'all have seen my latest video, but I was a bit of a sociopath and I decided to count every single book on my physical TBR shelf, and they're all in here. Yeah, you see that? It is stuffed to the brim. And I can't be having that. That is embarrassing at this point. I can't. I'm gonna pull out a handful of them, and if I do not get to them this month, I'm unhauling them. They're getting out of here. We're saying goodbye because clearly they weren't that important to me if I didn't prioritize them. Let's get started. We're doing this video in two parts, by the way. So this first one is going to be all the books that I've already set on my TBR. Like, these are finalized. I will be getting to these. And then our second part is gonna be when I'm using the TBR jar. So if that's what y'all wanna watch, I'll put the timestamp right here. You can jump to it, but if not, let's talk about the guaranteed reads for the month of May. Starting with Shields of Sparrow by Devyn Perry. I'm literally starting this book on the 1st. I have heard that this is like the new romantasy book, like the new it girl, if you will. And I believe it's like a marriage of convenience storyline within a kingdom / fantasy setting. I recently read Enchantra by Kaley Smith, and that was a marriage of convenience in a fantasy setting, and I lost my mind. The tension, the banter was everything. I think in this book, a prince comes into the kingdom and he's supposed to be marrying the female main character's sister, but when he shows up, he's like, no, I want you instead. And then we go from there, and that just sounds like a hot mess. That sounds like a hot mess of drama that I will eat up. Next, I really want to read Water Moon. And guys, I'm gonna be so for real. I really don't know anything about this book, except I've heard it's supposed to be like the coziest fantasy of all time, and that it's supposed to be very similar to a Studio Ghibli film, which is a yes for me. That is a yes in my book. And just look at that cover. If you think that's the prettiest thing you've ever seen, prepare to be blown away, to be shook, to have your jaw on the floor, because this is what it looks like without the dust jacket. That is literally stunning. I believe this book has like a fantastical pawn shop element to it, where people go to kind of get rid of any regrets or things that happen to them that they're like, no, I don't want to have to think about this anymore. But y'all, that just sounds so good. And I don't know if you've ever seen the anime Weathering with You. My husband showed that to me whenever we first started dating, and it's one of my favorites, and I think that this book will be a perfect combo of that and Studio Ghibli. We are now taking a wild genre turn because I want to read Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. This is a horror book. Hear me out. I'm wanting to either film a week where I'm only reading horror books, or a 24-hour readathon where I only read horror books. One of the two. I don't know anything about it except the reviews are phenomenal. Speaking of my plans for a horror week or a horror readathon, I want to read The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Kayla from Books and Lala absolutely adored this book, and she is kind of my go-to for books outside of my comfort zone. I've literally been watching her channel since I was in high school, and anytime I take one of her book recommendations, I absolutely love it. Because that's the thing, guys, like, my comfort zone is obviously romance. That's like the majority of what I read, but I want to kind of step out of that, see what else is out there, and every time I do that and I take one of her recommendations, I love it. So I'm excited for this one. Let's talk about some of the books that I don't own but are going to be released in May. The first one, which I think comes out on the 5th, is Carly Fortune's newest book. It's called One Golden Summer. This is not a direct sequel, but it's dealing with the brother of the main character in Every Summer After. Every Summer After was a 5-star for me. I absolutely adored that book, and I feel like I will absolutely eat this one up. Charlie is one of my favorite characters in Every Summer After, and One Golden Summer is Charlie's book. And the early reviews are phenomenal. I have so many mutuals that have already read it, and they've given it 5 stars. Like, they've said that this is their favorite Carly Fortune book. I'm very optimistic, and I'm going in with high expectations, and I'm really hoping I'm not gonna be disappointed. I'm probably gonna vlog that book as well, because I just know that if I love it, that's gonna be footage that I'm gonna wanna look back on. Ooh, and then this is my most anticipated book of the year. I'm not even kidding. This is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. This is the last book in her Skybriar series, and I have given both of those books 5 stars. I believe the third one is also gonna be a 5-star read. They're interconnected standalones, they're romance books. They have the biggest element of depth to them. Like, literally, I sobbed my eyes out in both books. The first one is Before I Let Go. The second one is This Could Be Us. This is another one where I'm going in with the expectation of this is gonna be a 5. This is gonna be my new all-time favorite book, and I am hoping for the best. I'm going in blind, but also what's new. I think I've said that for each and every one of these books. And I think that one comes out on the 13th. 3 of my favorite indie authors are coming out with books in the month of May, so obviously I'm gonna have to read them. Laura Pavlov is coming out with a new book, Rebecca Genshak is coming out with a new book, and Chelsea Curto is coming out with a new book. And y'all are sleeping on Chelsea Curto. Her DC Star series, one of my favorite hockey romances to ever exist. They are just so fun, and the found family is one of my favorite things. I think that she has handled the found family aspect so well. And I think all 3 of those books are gonna end up on Kindle Unlimited. My next 2 books are fantasy, and they're also not out. But the first one is Silver Elite. Now I'm pretty sure this is a romantasy dystopian setting. I love a dystopian book. I've loved a dystopian book since I was in 5th grade and I read The Hunger Games. Sue me. You really don't have to tell me anything else other than it's a dystopian, it's gonna be a trilogy. That's all I need. I will be buying that on release day. And my final book in my set TBR is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Guys, I love Rachel Gillig. She is the author of One Dark Window, and I completely consumed that fantasy book. It was the most unique magical system I have ever read, and I just know that this book is going to be so amazing. Her writing style is so lyrical and immersive, and I just got so lost in that first world, where I'm just hoping that she can do that for me again. And this is another one where on release day I will be pulling up to Barnes & Noble and I'll be getting my copy. Does that make me sound psychotic? Maybe, but I don't care. I don't care at all. This is a safe space. All right, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time for the TBR jar. Here are my little set rules. I think I'm going to pull out 4 books from this jar, and I have to read 3 of them. I'm going to give myself 1 wiggle room, whereas if I read 3 of the 4, I can still keep all 4 of them. If I read 2 of the 4, I have to unhaul 1 of them, and so on and so forth. That way I have a bit more of a kick in the butt for me to actually read these books. I'm also going to pour these into a bowl because this thing is stuffed to the brim. Like, this is just for aesthetics. There's no way my hand is gonna get anything. There's no way. Let me go get said bowl. Empty bowl, full cup, pouring her in. Empty cup. Let's do this thing. Giving her a little shake, a little mix. Whew. Why is this the most nerve-wracking part? It is okay. Let's do this one. Okay, still in my hand. As you can see, I'm not cutting the footage. We're just putting the bowl down. And this is Margot's Got Money Troubles. Oh, I've heard this one so good. Okay, so this is by Rufi Thorpe. It's literally right here, which is beautiful. I don't have to go too far. Margot's Got Money Troubles. I believe that this one is literary fiction. I've heard it is a hot mess of a human being. And one of my favorite things in literary fiction is when we have a chaotic female main character where you are just thinking to yourself, what are you doing? Like, girly, what are you doing? And that is what I've heard goes on in this book. Okay, that is actually a really good one. I will read this one in the month. We're off to a good start, so hopefully book 2 will be the same way. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, again, we're not cutting. We're just setting the bowl down. One motion. You might be able to see that before me. Ministry of Time. Okay, so this is another book of the month book that I just haven't gotten to yet. Spoiler alert. Half of my TBR are book of the month books that I just haven't read. I don't know where this one is though. Oh, I see it. That one was way on the bottom, but here it is, Ministry of Time. I think Haley from Haley Fam really enjoyed this book. I believe it's sci-fi, and I honestly don't know if I've ever read a sci-fi book in my 20-something years of reading. Maybe this is a good little intro for me. A boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. That is vague, and that's exactly what I'm after, actually, in a little snippet. Oh, actually, psych. It says it's contemporary fiction. I don't know why I thought it was science fiction. So that whole little tangent that I said made no sense. Oops. Okay. Let's see. This one's tiny. It's also upside down. Cross my heart. Okay. This is a beautiful one for the simple fact being, I know where it is. Ministry of Time was right under that book. That was easy peasy to get. Okay, so this is Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. This is a thriller book. I believe it's a thriller about a heart transplant patient. That's all I know. And that is intriguing to me because I think the only media that I have consumed that is about a heart transplant is this like rom-com from the early 2000s. I've never seen it in a thriller setting. And it says, she has his wife's heart. The one she wants is his. That sounds incredible. That literally is an amazing tagline. Oh, also guys, while we're being honest and while we're just being very vulnerable right now with one another, This is my book club's pick for January. I didn't get to it. So this will actually get me caught up in my book club. That'll be very, very nice for me. Okay, that's another good one. We are kind of on a roll. I could see all 3 of those being the ones that I read this month, which means number 4 could just be my freebie. Or I could read all 4. Did you see that? One fell out. Okay, we are not cutting, but one fell out, and so that's the one that I have to choose. What was this? Again, still here, haven't cut. Serpent and the Wolf. I almost read that as Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I'm like, I've actually read that. No, Serpent and the Wolf. This is a romantasy. It might be on the same shelf that those 2 books were, actually. I don't know. Let me look. Oh, it's on the bottom. It was on the very bottom of a huge stack. But here it is, Serpent and the Wolf. This is a romantasy that I really haven't heard anything about. I got it on sale. We love a steal, we love a bargain. And it's a fake marriage meets enemies to lovers and Rebecca Robinson's steamy, thrilling romantasy debut. Did I not just say that I love like a marriage convenience, fake marriage trope in a fantasy setting? Did I not just mention that at the beginning of this video? I did not know that that's what this book was. Oh, it's the start to a duology. Ugh. That kind of sucks. The next book isn't out yet, but that sounds like something I would absolutely adore, and I understand why I bought this. I completely understand why I bought this now. Okay, that actually wasn't bad. For this being the first time of me using my TBR jar in this way, and me getting 4 books that I absolutely want to read, that's pretty good. I have no notes. If y'all have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know which ones I should prioritize. If you think one of these could be my freebie, let me know that too. Oh my gosh, that actually made me very excited. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I was a little nervous. I thought I was gonna pull out a Stephen King or like The Goldfinch. Those are books I got at Goodwill that I know I wanna read one day, but I didn't want it to be this month. So thank goodness that it was these 4. All right, so that's my May TBR. Hopefully I will be able to get to all of these. And if I don't, hopefully I just get to the ones from the jar. I might vlog that, by the way. If y'all wanna see a vlog of me tackling my TBR jar, let me know and I'll get started on that. But that's really all I have for this video. So thank you all so much for being here, and hopefully we can all have an amazing reading month in May. And hopefully my reading slump is gone. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Goodbye everyone, I love y'all.